These are CA hinges. This is a thick CA hinge, and it does not bend very well. When you try to bend it all the way over, you'll notice that the fabric will come off of it. You see that? Now, try to tear that. Ain't gonna happen. So, there's also a thinner CA hinge. This is on a real thin plastic. So I'm going to show you two different ways to go with this. You take your scissors, and this is plastic and everything. Okay, now it's got to be wide enough to where it will actually glue and hold something, right? But where it hinges, you want it narrow. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting it flat like that, and then I'll go from the center over, making a butterfly, and then I'll cut it straight again and trash that part. Not much to hold on to there. I pre-bend mine in the center and fold them back and forth, and it makes them easy, man. Now let me tell you something. That right there is strong enough for this. And you don't just want to do two of them. You want to do a few. This one here, let me see if I can get it to focus. That's perfect right there. Insert that blade all the way in there, and I'll wiggle it around. If I glued these into one of the surfaces, it would make things a lot easier. Now I may end up doing that. I just don't like committing, because when you commit and you glue them in, if you've got a mistake, it makes it that much harder to deal with. Also, I think what would make it a little easier when you cut these butterflies, I just only had one of these, so I didn't have enough material to cut like I really wanted to. So if you look at it, you see how they pitch up on both sides. So I'm going to stick it in there at a crazy angle and then straighten it up. So see how once it's in there, it's sticking up this way. And I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I'm going to go ahead and glue these, because I'm not going to get these in. And we'll just make it work. So what happens on CA hinges? How do they work? You may not know about this. What you don't want to do with a CA hinge is get CA glue past that center point, because what happens with a CA hinge is it's got that material on it, and that material is like real fibery, real hairy, and when you put thin CA on there, it wicks up in the slot. And it goes up in there and it holds. It does work very well for a lot of applications. I really cannot stand them because you can't see how well it's wicking. And if you have older CA or CA that's a little glue, a little thicker than what it should be, then if you don't have thin CA, it's just not going to work. You've got to actually put it on there and then slide it up in there. But when you do, a lot of the glue gets pushed to the center, and it kind of holds half-ass, and then you get glue there in the center, which if it wicks at all, it'll start coming back up the wrong side. Now, once it gets wicked, it's over with. You can't have a pre-wicked CA hinge and expect to use it, because it'll just never hold right. Alright, let's give these a little splash of smell good. Yeah, and I apologize, y'all didn't see anything but my belly there, I guess. I apologize, I don't have my monitor hooked up, so I can't really see what y'all see until I walk around the back of the camera. Okay, so this is going to be a lot easier now, hopefully. Start at the top, work your way down. Now we want this to be close so it looks right, but you don't want it too close, because if it's too close, what's going to happen is this plane starts to give. It's going to start hitting up there, and it'll just be no fun. Your plane won't straighten up and fly right. Okay, now that's how you see a hinge. One of these little profile planes. So now what I'm going to do, hopefully, I'm going to lay this over. This is the part I don't like about these CA hinges, baby. You rely on a wicking action that you cannot see. I'm going to pull out on them just a tad. I'm going to push them in real quick, because you don't have it just a second. Also, for extra precaution, I'm going to make a little bitty slit or a little hole in the foam so I can inject some CA up into the mid part in here. I poked a little hole on the other side there and there on the top. The bottom two I was able to pull apart and put some actual CA on the hinge and stick it back in there. On there. Now look at that. No tape, no muss, no fuss. I'm just feel a lot safer. I think it performs a lot better. Okay. Wow, that was a chore. Moving on to number 17. To avoid distortion in the vertical fuselage, install two pieces of carbon fiber rods between the upper horizontal fuselage and the vertical fuselage. Well, look at there. So now what we're doing is we're going to try to find us the 106 millimeter. Let's see how many we've got here of those. Let me look in the front of the book. 106, there was 2 of those. And then we're going to be doing the 126s after that. And I see the 126s here together. Here are the 106s here together. I don't know what that next one is. Here's the short ones though. There's the long ones of those 2. Sure would be fun. So this is showing right about the kneecaps of the pilot with the 106s. Okay? Right about the kneecap of the pilot. That's going to be right here. And it's going from right there, right where the orange and the white meet. And there's supposed to be a slot. There is a slot right here on this side, I see. That's covered up with this plastic covering. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, right there. I don't know what's going on here, man. This has got some CA from the table or something there. And then here is the other slot. Right there and right there. Okay, I got that to penetrate. And then over here I'm dealing with more plastic that I've got to get through. Okay. This is when you really want to make sure that you utilize your squares. Looks like it's leaning that. There. Keeps pushing back over this way. Never easy working on these vertical surfaces. Okay. Your 126 millimeter will be running perpendicular with the canopy right there, the canopy glass. So your slot will be right here. Oop. Trying to do this so you can see it. Oh, wait. I'll keep forgetting. I see I've got carbon coming up from, ooh, I just poked a hole in it. I just did that. Ouch. I've got carbon coming up from the other side, so the CA has seeped through from the bottom to the top when it was upside down. And it's going to be rock hard and almost impossible to just take and poke the carbon rod in without, you know, penetrating it with a razor blade. Don't try to get it, you know, if you've got glue that's seeped through, it's not necessary to get it right there. You can move it over just a little bit. Just find the edge where it, you know, right to the edge of the hole where it's a little soft. Make sure that none of your carbon fiber rods have a bow in them. There is a whole article online on how to make bent carbon rod. It's quite a process, but it's very doable at home. But these, it's all about them being straight. If they're not straight, they're not working, or not as well. The efficiency drops about 30–40% if it has a bow in it, because once it's bowed, it'll just keep bowing. I'm hoping that some of that CA will find its way down through. The foam and try to get in there and rigid up that bond a little bit. We are down to 4 carbon rods. Now we need to pull the 146s. We need to flip the plane around. Make sure that that's nice, square, and straight. Ease this around like that. Now we need the 146ers. And we have 2 left. And I don't see where they go. $90. First mention, that's page 9, page 10.